once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am so excited to get started again today. Praise God, indeed. Let's start off. Did you catch Jack at the table this morning? We had another episode of Awakening with Jack and Barney today, and I had fun, man. I had such a good day today. Praise God, indeed, and thank all of you who are here with me now, who will join in later, all who may tune in at another time. Praise God. Even if it's in a restream, you know what? Thank you to all of you. May a new future begin today. May it begin with us, and let's rejoice with blessings today. I'm excited, man. The names of people, blessings to you, the folks of you who are already here. Man, much love to you. Breakfast tacos. You're so close. You're so close. I'm so grateful you're here. Every one of you. You know what? Let's get started because I'm ready. I've got a few notes, some questions. The topic today, are you dreaming? Or are you living with God, right? Are you living a life where you're pretending a lot of problems, you're dreaming up schemes and whatever? I'm telling you, I'm feeling good today. The reminder, seek shelter in the Lord's embrace, in the warm embrace of love, feel good, and live boldly. For fear is just a shadow. That's one of my thoughts today. Fear is just a shadow while courage lights the way. These aren't my words. I'm reading it, but this idea about, have you been dreaming about problems while missing out on your blessings, missing out on your potential? Those were the ideas I had earlier today. And if you think that through, consider this: a greater adventure is waiting for the bold to become wise, for the wise to become bold. It is time, my brothers and sisters. It is time for the new earth to emerge, the new kingdom, where love is the rule, compassion is the standard. There's no ethics or morality because everyone lives as saints. We've learned our lessons, I hope. I've reached a new level of surrender today. I don't know what exactly it is. After our live stream earlier with Midlife Bro Logic, Barnabas, he and I went to the gym. And I didn't work out hard or a long time, but man, my body just feels good today, man. It really does. Oh, look at that. Off to a wonderful start. Blessings for your generosity, Andy. Thank you. Learn to do good. Seek justice. Rescue the oppressed. Defend the orphan. Plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17. These words have been around for so long. How do we have so many problems in the world? What happened? See, we live in a realm of consciousness, and God is not far away. God is here and now. It is the present. Rejoice in the present to know God's love. That is real. That's how I find myself spending my time each day, man. Just friggin' rejoicing and celebrating life and everything that it brings. Every day is a new opportunity. Every moment is unfound potential. We don't know what we don't know, And every day there's something new to learn. And I've been learning things today too, man. I've had some incredible conversations today that help me realize in the greater world and in my own life. See, this is what I think is happening. God is allowing me to realize a lot of things about me, and I see me in the world, right? Because I am that. And you are part of this. You are that in the world, just as I am. We are the world, this time of history. It's all in our hands, and yet it's really in God's hands. Some of my earlier observations today, before I got on this really high aspect of life I got kind of disconnected, right? I guess I need to get more grounded in my being again here and now. So some of the ideas I had earlier is I realized something that's different about me now today than I used to be in the past when my son was around me and I had all these things, a career and a home and all of these things. I was so attached to life and death. And yet I didn't have a clear vision in my mind of what life or death meant. I was living death. I was not living life. See, the way of Jesus is the way to true life. It's the truth. Okay? The words and the lessons from Jesus of forgiveness and compassion and love for one another. The stuff is real. The rewards are internal. Okay? And the reality is what we believe we create. God has given us the power of the future. This is my theory, right? It's all God's plan. It's all God's power. It's all God's glory. It's all God's purpose. It's all God's delight. And it's all God's love. If you can accept in that, then you can understand who you are and why you are alive and what you've learned. You're here to make a difference in this world. You're here to discover your potential, just as I am here to discover mine. And to discover our potential, it means we got to press out. We got to step out of our comfort zones. We got to think outside of the box, right? I'm no longer attached to life or death anymore. And I encourage you, detach yourself. Don't become disassociated from life or death. That stuff is real. But don't cling on to it. Let it go. Surrender it all. This is what I found helpful for me. To find my inner peace is the willingness to surrender it all away. It no longer matters. What matters is how I feel. And what matters to you is how you feel, because your feelings are you. And you can't deny your feelings. We've got a world today where men like me are taught you don't show your feelings, right? you sure don't cry in front of others. I think I talked about that yesterday, but the reality is who I am a sensitive bitch. I am a touchy-feely type of man. I'm very emotional. And in the past, my emotions were my downfall. But now that I've been learning to understand them and interpret them a little more wisely, my emotions no longer control me. Now, there's exceptions, of course. There's plenty of exceptions where my emotions take over, but I'm working on me. Where I'm going with this, I'm no longer attached to life or death anymore. What I am attached to is existing and to being conscious, right? I'm attached to consciousness, to the awareness of being, the awareness of my emotions. This was another thought I had earlier. If this hopefully this is helpful for those of you who are like me. You get emotional, you feel some anxiety, you feel some anger, you feel some sadness, whatever. So become aware of the awareness of the emotion, the awareness of the anxiety. Become aware of the awareness. And then you're like detached from that emotion. The emotion can be, but it doesn't have to control you because you're with the awareness of it. And the awareness of all things, guess what that is? That's God, baby. That's God that's with you all the time, night and day, when you don't know it. It's all God. Yeah. So become one with the consciousness of existence, because that is truly who you are. You are the consciousness of existence through the being and body of form that you are. But what you attach yourself to, what you identify yourself as, that's all entirely up to you. God's given you everything. God's given you everything and more, just like me. And this is what I was thinking of earlier. Earlier, I was in between all these other things. I watched a video regarding Carl Jung and his work on shadow integration. That was a concept and an idea that really helped me understand me. Plus, some of the online courses in psychology that I took. But a lot of it was based upon his work. The light and the shadow within. What is the light within you and me? That's the Christic. That's the Christ. As Christ Jesus said, he's in all things. He's in everything. He is the perfection of being. So the light within us is that, the Holy Spirit, the divine spark of life and consciousness. Become part of that. Overcome the darkness by stepping into it. Don't run from the darkness. Don't hide from the darkness. Don't give the darkness any power. Your anger, your sadness, your misery, depression, whatever. Go into it. Face it. But don't let it overtake you. Feel it. It's got lessons for you. Anger is a path into learning. That's something I've learned. Every time I got angry, I reflected and I learned, golly geez, Jack, when are you going to learn? I keep asking God now, God, when am I going to learn? When am I going to learn what is necessary for me to move forward to this success that I've dreamed of, this peace on earth, all over the world, right? Where there's true reform and repentance. Oh man, I've got so many ideas, so many things I want to get into. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. I have not yet been paying a lot of attention to the chat, but praise God. That might be true. I don't know. Jesus might have said Jack is retarded, but I don't think that would be true. I really don't, because I actually envision, when that happens, he'll know. The words will be nice job, my faithful son. Hey, wonderful. Our first guest. Let me welcome back Cage. How are you, brother? By encouragement as well, man. Praise God.
Welcome back.
Cage,
Can you hear me all right? I got a new headphone. Can you hear me proper?
dude, your sound, it is so, yes, it is solid and clear. Thank you, man. What's new with you?
Same old on my end, Jack. I'm out here. Doing what I gotta deal with. How you doing, my friend? Everything good?
I think so. Here, I'm going to turn you up a little bit. You're a bit soft. Hopefully that's a little better. Um, well, fascinating. We've got another guest returning. Welcome back, Landry. Modern Men Lost Again. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
How you doing, Laundry?
It's good to see you, Kate. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know it's been a bit, huh?
Yeah, it's been quite a while. How are you feeling today? I heard you went to the gym yesterday, Jack.
I did, and I went to the gym again today, and I met an amazing woman, Luanda. If you are tuning in, God bless you, my friend.
Luanda, the black
Yes.
women hit different. You know what I mean? Come on,
No, she's
Luanda is
security.
not a black woman.
Yes, she is.
Oh yeah,
She's um
yeah, Jack.
new
You see
friend I
that?
met
You
today.
you just gotta grab the 40s and pump them up like that.
All right, Cage.
Yeah. Shout out
So,
to Luanda.
yeah, Lawanda, dude. It's like LaFonda. Do you know LaFonda?
It's like the black version of you, Laundry.
Well, I am the black version of
Black.
me, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Cage, what are you doing?
I'm just joking. But no, but Jack, yeah. What? So the lady was kind to you, and what happened? I want to hear the story here. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I used to go to Thanksgiving with. I know we have different Thanksgiving. Ours is in October in Canada. Thanksgiving's coming up for the Americans, right, in November. What day is it in November? Just wondering.
I don't know. I haven't looked.
He's drunk.
Oh, I'm drunk because I'm asking about Thanksgiving and how there's a difference between the Canadian.
Cage,
Okay.
Cage, can
All
you
right.
please connect with me? What are you doing, dude? Holy cows. This is we got another guest. We welcome back OTW. How are you today?
I'm doing really good. How about you, Jack?
Fuck you, OTW.
How's your day been, Jack?
I've actually had an amazing day. God has truly been good with me. I reached a new level of surrender, and it's like I have become detached from time.
Jack, as a young man, what's the number one thing God has taught you thus far from this point on? I know it's a difficult thing. Maybe like top three. I know it's a difficult thing to answer.
Well, everything is one. There is one absolute truth. The absolute truth is God. God, through love, reveals the truth to each of us. The truth is not found in the world, it's found from within. It's a gift that God gives us. But what we do with what we've learned, that reveals us. See, many people
Is
have
that like
learned,
kind of like the difference between wisdom and knowledge, right? Knowledge and wisdom.
many
So is
people
it?
have learned how to manipulate, how to use knowledge for selfish gain. That's a corruption. Mankind is better than just being parasites trying to profit from one another. I saw some interesting videos today about possible things. Now, I don't want to be one who spreads rumors, but this is what I heard, that apparently some of the Jewish priests, something, they've been recognizing Donald Trump as the Messiah, the Savior.
No way.
Dude, who said that? The Jews?
Oh, don't get all kecked up here.
No, this was something I saw on Instagram, and I'm not gonna go real into it, but if the signs are true, I mean, he is a part of these Abrahamic Accords, and he's connected to all of these atrocious things that are happening in the world. And so, what if Donald Trump is the Antichrist?
Fuck.
That would actually make a lot of
I'd rather have you be
fuck,
the
man.
Antichrist, Talcott. That'd be
Well,
better.
he's been claiming peace, and people
Sorry,
are
Orthodox.
bullshitted into trying to nominate him for the Peace Prize, right? And so there's all these charades being and lies being spread. I believe that it's possible. The world would benefit if I and Donald Trump had a conversation, a real life man to man conversation. You laugh, Landry, because you're still a little boy who doesn't understand the reality of the world that we're sharing.
I don't laugh because of that. I laugh because of the some things never change. That's all.
Hey, but I have something really good to share. If you like, Talcott, a bit of it.
Is it
You can
related to
go.
anything I've said, Cage?
Yes, it's directly related to everything you said.
I don't believe it.
Seriously. No, it is. Screen it. It's directly related to what you said, man.
Would you?
Like, seriously. Like, I'm not fucking with you. It is literally related to what you said. It could have some validation to it. Because people are put into these positions purposefully. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Why not?
Here, excuse me. I'm not going to play.
Play a bit of it, like a couple minutes. We like stop it, and we can all like put our 2 cents in there.
No,
Whatever.
I don't need to,
No.
Cage.
Oh,
For
don't give it up,
for
man.
those who are interested, there's a video related to what I was talking about.
It has nothing to do with me, at all. But it's very interesting how this mimetic magic works and memes and all that. We're all feeding off of it in a way. I'm not, but yeah, most people
Cage,
on
would
here are.
you please shut your mouth, please?
Yeah, I'll shut my mouth. Thank you, Talcott.
Thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but seriously,
It's a bit
Landry,
rude though. Yeah.
if you actually understood what was going on, you'd be more appreciative of my patience and my kindness. But you're so blind and your disassociation, you don't see what's happening. And Landry, you
How do
don't
you
see
know?
what's happening. And
How do you know?
because as you said, you've observed accurately, very little has changed. Jack is still talking about the same old thing, talking about achieving my goals, working towards achieving my goals, if you could actually be honest.
Okay, talking to Trump. I mean, I know. I hear you. I'm sorry. I think that there's.
Tell
I
you
mean,
what, tell you what, I don't want to waste my time with this silliness. Does anyone want to discuss the topic or anything I've been discussing?
I like to, yeah.
the dreaming or living with God.
Yeah.
So it's like one or the other. So am I dreaming that I'm living with God, or am I
Are
dreaming
you?
instead of living with God?
I think you're dreaming. You're living. You're pretending to live. You're pretending to be a success. You're pretending to be a dad. You're pretending to be a YouTuber. You're
Pretending to
pretending a
be a
lot.
dad, pretending to be a YouTuber.
I think
Yep.
he is a dad, and
Oh,
he's
yeah, that'd be
appearing on
crazy to
YouTube.
pretend to do that.
Yeah. I think Laundry, you are a father, right?
Indeed,
Yeah, and you're also on YouTube.
but I mean, that's sometimes when the truth comes out, the truth comes out. So that's what his.
Well, there you go. So he is a father, and he's on YouTube.
I mean, I guess I'm not understanding the which part is pretending.
Well, you've been pretending a lot of things about me. It's been quite
He's a
disrespectful
young
and
Why do
man.
you even talk to me?
unpleasant. And Cage, you need to learn to stop interrupting, especially me. It's as simple as this. I'm not a joke. Live without fear is not a joke. You're still holding your same opinions of me, Landry, that I'm a liar, I'm misrepresenting live without fear. That was your claims I remember from you.
Not actively. I don't actively feel as though those things are that way. I've kind of conceded. Sure. Yeah, I'm saying I don't actively hold those beliefs that are anti-Jack. This has been a peaceful time, right? I mean, OTW is my most consistent enemy for a while there, but even we found peace.
That has nothing to do with me.
Well, I'm just saying it because I'm saying that we are all in a position right now that I believe is very peaceful. So we could either use that for positive or for negative. So I want to let you know I don't have any sort of animosity towards you right now.
Great.
I think you. So your question is, do you live without fear? Yes, Jack lives without fear.
I appreciate that. Seems that you're finally being honest about the facts.
I hope so.
I don't know what fears. Do you have an explanation of the fears you've been claiming?
I mean, it's been like a long time since I've said that.
Okay, fair enough. We don't need to rehash it. Thank you. Here's the reality, guys. This is our lifetime. I used to dream a lot of problems, and I missed out on a lot of the blessings that I actually had around me. This is what I wrote today. Have you been dreaming about problems while missing out on your blessings and your potential? Because if you're focused on problems and these false enemies that we imagine, we're missing out on the blessings. We're missing out on the opportunities, the potential to do good, to learn, to grow, to become greater. This is our lifetime. There's a lot of children right now whose moms and dads, 43 million people with SNAP benefits, I understand, are being playing hostage with this commander in chief and the games of the current Congress. Someone's got to do something, and I'm at least willing to try. Are you guys done playing games? Can you join my side of reality? Please.
I've pretty much chosen that direction lately, Jack. It's like kind of stop the fighting, and I'm not too much into the division anymore. I think I think we've done enough of that over the past 3 years. So yeah, I kind of like let go of all. I put down the shield and the sword, Jack, and I said I lifted up the white flag and said that's enough.
I appreciate that. And here, I'm going to bring Cage back up. And, guys, thank you. I've frankly had enough, seriously, of the disrespect that people have been so generous with towards me. But God's revealed a lot of lessons through me. Welcome back, El Perro. Good to see you, brother.
Welcome back.
Greetings, everyone. Jack, I think you're on top of it when it comes to the need to speak to the, quote, powers that be. But I think there's additions that need to be made. There's a saying that the evil exists only because good men refuse to do anything about it. And in that, you can't just speak to these people. You have to have accountability. And in that accountability, there has to be replacements. You have to be able to replace these people that will refuse to be held accountable. This goes to the nepotism, cronyism, and so it's widespread and systemic. So in order to get that message across, it's going to take a large body of people all standing up at the same time. So I agree that you need people to help you do this, but it's not going to be just talking to these people. It's going to be pointing fingers, holding accountability, stepping into positions, and being the good men that will no longer allow this shit to happen. I hope you're successful in that. I will ride along with that. That's why I go to city council and speak out. We need good men to stand up and be good men right from the start. When you get into a police enforcement position and you think you're a good man and you see shit going on that shouldn't happen and you know better, your first and utmost moral duty is to either hold yourself accountable and fuck the job off and hold the people accountable. not hold
Good.
yourself accountable to the job and let the shit slide.
Thank you, brother. There's a lot of men rising up today, and what you're talking about, I saw on Instagram again today, a pastor, a beautiful, beautiful example of a man speaking to ICE agents and to the police, reminding them, look, you can go create another career. You can go find another job. You don't have to do this anymore. Right? And he was speaking the true love of Christ, the true messages of Jesus, where the foreigner is treated as your own, where we care for one another, right? That's the world that we want. I'm not deceived on that. Welcome back, Bad Apple Media. How are you today?
Well, I've never been here before, but appreciate it. What's up, Jack?
Hey,
How's it going?
blessings. Good. I want to swing back real quick to something El Perro said, unless you've got something you want to get to.
No, you go right ahead. I'll listen and I'll chime in after.
What El Perro was really pointing at is the absolute truth. This is the time of history where good men need to stand up. And the reality is, I was considering this earlier, when there are men of honor, then the true power of the women will shine, right? But we live in a corrupted world where the women, in order to survive and to be successful, they become more accustomed to the corrupted man. And so we've got a lot of confused people in a lot of powerful positions, and nobody understands what they're doing. But I believe the world that we all want, as men become men, we stand up, align with the truth, with honor, with love, with compassion, in touch with our feelings, not playing games. Well, playing games when it's appropriate, but I'm on a path. My goal is to save lives. Can you guys consider that aspect of it?
That's important if it's true.
Oh, God.
If it's true, what would convince you that my goal is to save lives and that it is truth that I speak?
I mean, I'm just saying, okay, so sorry, that's bad wording. That is, assuming it's true, which I'll grant you, yes, it is important.
I thought you said you wanted to be a part of something important.
I do. I'm every day. I want to make sure that it's like a real option, a real choice, right? Like I'll fucking catch a bus right now and we'll go talk to Donald Trump.
See, I don't think you have much to offer, to be honest.
I certainly have the willingness, right? It's important.
No, so far your willingness has not helped me whatsoever. And you recognize today, at least, that my goals are honest and saving lives is an important goal.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So again, I still don't see what you're offering. I don't know why you're here.
What is anyone else offering? What is the minimum?
Why are any of you here? Please. Please explain like adults.
Right. I'm here.
I'm here. Okay.
To support and participate in the conversation with you, Jack. As long as I'd rather not speak and not say anything and interrupt language that I don't understand, because obviously there's some individuals that speak a peculiar language and that I don't really resonate with. But having an entertaining conversation with you, Jack, actually has found itself to be fun and interesting and entertaining, and is also, I learned some stuff from you, man. So it's like, yeah, So that's why I'm here, because every time, ever since we kind of like arranged our shit there or whatever that we had, that I'm not here in any negative capacity, and I'm not here to, detract from what you're wanting to explain to your audience and your fellow panel members. So, look at me as, like a go-to person if you need like to keep the conversation moving going forward. This is what I'm offering.
Appreciate that. Cage, while you're bragging and showing off your owl again and your tattoo and your apron and all these other things, why are you here, Cage?
I'm here for the people.
What people is that?
Humanity.
It's clearly not me.
No, you're not really relevant in that equation.
Right.
No, but
See
you are, but you're
that.
not. No, it's called humanity, okay, buddy. It's way beyond you. Yeah.
No. See
Oh,
what this is,
no, no,
Cage.
no. Okay, so let's grab our
Cage.
guns and get to it. All right.
Cage, please listen to me.
Okay,
Your
listen.
be your behavior shows you are disassociated with the real life that you are participating in here and now. Okay? You're showing yourself to be like a child who's seeking attention. So what I can help you, but so far you haven't been willing to
I'm
pay.
the child seeking attention, okay?
You're lying to yourself,
Okay.
and you've
Yeah,
been
tell
a
me more.
disruptive more you've been very disruptive in many of my live streams.
You asked
Save
me to
for your
fucking
own
join.
day.
You went out of
Thank
your way to
you.
tell me to join this
Thank you
shit.
for your
All right.
contribution. Golly geez. Thank you for your contribution. The honesty and healing is what our world really needs. It's time for men to act like men. Cage, you can do better, brother. How
All
about that?
right. Well, I'll climb a tree with a 50 caliber Beowulf. Okay, what about that?
You're speaking like a child again. You're making no
Oh, I'm a
sense.
child. That says guy in the military saw no action. All right.
Is anyone else witnessing this? Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Holy cows. And again, silence.
None of your fucking business. But yeah, if it comes down to it, I'll be there to help fucking people. Okay. What about that?
Cage, you're in no condition, my brother.
How much should I bet I am?
No,
Drop it. Give me.
mentally.
Oh,
Mentally,
mentally,
you
mentally, I'm in better condition than ever. What are you talking about? You don't tell me my condition, Talcott. You have no business doing that.
then figure out why you're no longer here. Dub, you're new here. Welcome. How are you?
Pretty good, buddy. I've been on here before. I do like coming on the channel because I like interacting with people in general. But I think that you carry yourself in a manner that is generally respectful with other people's dialogue and discussion, and that's what I enjoy. So there you have my answer.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You're at least seeing the qualities. Many people, and I realize many of these panels are just places where people hang out. They gossip. They talk about
Right.
doing things.
Right.
I'm a little different. I don't know if you've tuned in or given my monologues much attention, Landry.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, but there's still words.
Still words.
Yeah, to where if so, say you're good with words, right? I believe that you are in some cases, right? You're better than I am in many ways. I believe that that is one segment where you can shine. And then imagine that we get all caught up in ourselves, right? In the self, the concept of what am I doing and what about me. When if it's about the message and the bigger picture, it should be taking the best parts of each one of us and utilizing each one together. But I gave up on that a long time ago because I've seen how people work together in this space. It's not great.
You've been looking in the wrong directions, my friend.
Explain.
You haven't looked at me with honest eyes.
How so?
You haven't, you, you clearly, the words you said you heard, words are words. You don't see the value in wisdom?
I do. I'm just saying it's one part of a puzzle, right? To where if we could get things, say we take your words out and we put them in the places that shined with other people, where we combine one and one,
I'm
or we
not
take
sure.
the
You're
words
not
of your,
making sense to
we
me.
take your
Sorry.
words and make them better, your exact words, we can make them better presented. We could put a big fancy, you standing on top of the mountain speaking in the exact same way with some crazy background going on. It's all about leveling up,
Yeah.
because the monologue is going to be a monologue until the cows come home. But it's just all about, if we want to find Trump, we got to make that monologue shine.
See, and again, you're missing the point, my friend. Caged reality for the contribution. Thank you for supporting the funding of me. Yeah.
Or get it out there to more audiences, newer audiences, offline
Landry,
audiences.
well, see, this again, you're missing the opportunity to learn from a man like me. And this is what I tried explaining to you long ago, that for you to be able to work with me, you need to understand me and what I say. But it looks like you're just pretending to listen again.
How so? My computer's over here.
Pattern,
If I'm looking right here
patterns
at
of
you,
your
look,
eyes.
this is you. You're over here, right? You're not over here. This is me, because I'm aware of the concept, right? This is me, but there's nothing over there. There's a black screen there. So this is you. I know it's confusing.
Did you prove something?
No.
Okay. The fact that you haven't found the value in the words that I say when I'm talking about God, I'm talking about consciousness and health and growth, personal development, becoming a greater human being. You don't find any value in that, Landry?
I do, but I just think that it's a capped thing. I mean, I'm not
You
sure
think it's
how
a
that's
capped
so.
market. So what if people do learn from me? What is the
I
world
didn't say
gain?
they didn't.
But see, help me better understand. I've been seeking people to help me do a better job, how to look better, sharing the wisdom that God has allowed me to learn. Because what God allowed me to learn saved my life. It transformed my life. Many of the churches try and explain it, but they don't have the experience. Many of the pastors, not the experience God has blessed me with. There's something important going on in the world. And you
Well, and
guys stumbled
I've learned
across
patience.
me.
Okay, I learned patience from you.
You actually do pretty well as a young
But
man.
so, Jack, what is this knowledge that you feel like you've gained? That you have more knowledge than a pastor does? 'Cause I find that interesting. And number one, because well, the group that I belong to, um, these people hear people's confessions, Jack. So they have heard some of the worst parts of humanity that probably exist. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
my question, that's what my question is. So Jack, how is it that you feel like you have gained this knowledge well beyond a pastor? Go ahead.
It was poorly said. In my mind and in my memory, I've witnessed and I've seen a lot of pastors misleading some of this prosperity gospel and this evil nonsense of supporting nationalism. Um, However, the other side of that, Dub, I have been blessed to come across some incredibly gifted pastors, some incredibly gifted teachers, communicators, some examples men who I hope to be like, right? On my own, I'm doing my best. And I think I'm improving. There's evidence of my improvement and my growth. But what makes a good pastor from a bad pastor? The experience of the Holy Spirit, the lived experience of God and God's love. That, in my opinion, is what makes the difference. There's many who try real hard, who work so damn hard, but they don't understand. They're not being led by God. They're trying to lead for God.
But you understand, Jack, that is a claim that people can make. And
Okay.
anyone can make that, right? Jim Jones made a claim, right? And he had some followers, and then that happened. That's a piece of history. So it's a tough claim to make. And I'm not really following there, right? But this is why I like being on your channel, because I can actually have a dialogue to where it's not like people are trying to talk over each other, so on and so forth. But I find it interesting that is your claim, and I think we've been down this road a little bit before, to where it's like you basically claim, you know, the reading of the Bible is not really necessary because you are getting signals or something, to in which is guiding you personally or something to that effect, right? Okay, so we've had this conversation before, uh, but yet we need to have, it's almost like a Deuteronomy 18:18. We need to have something to compare to where we can look back. So if somebody says they're a prophet, in other words, we need to have the evidence for that. And if they're preaching something else that is not written down, then they would be considered not a prophet. So that is part of what I'm trying to get at with what you're saying and what your message. It's not like I sit here and go, "Oh, your message is terrible" or something, but it's not. It doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't line up with what the book actually teaches, and there's where we differ.
I appreciate that. Let me swing back, please, because I saw this too. The Truth Social. I've reached out to Trump every way I could think of, including Truth Social. I do have an account. I've tagged him in videos, tagged him in posts. But what I've been learning, Dub, I'm not alone in what I'm trying to explain. There's been many. God has sent to the world many, many messengers of truth and love and compassion. My path started me in labor like everyone else, right? A working class guy. I got into the labor movement, started learning more about history. My initial inspiration was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Then eventually, discovered others. Everything pointed back to what Jesus said, lived, and did. And to me, I've had several years, guys, several years alone in solitude with me and God. Okay. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about God, studying the Bible, learning from other scholars, learning from other people. My interpretation of the return of Christ, it is any day now. The day of our Lord is, I truly believe, it's been given to us to choose. It's only the Father knows the day, the hour, but think about the future, right? What that means. What that means is
What
Jesus
what
reigns
what does that
supreme.
what does that mean, Jack? When you say uh, it's yours to choose, so
Ah,
what are you
thank you.
talking about there? Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for that question. All of the ideas, there's many people. We are the tools that God has brought forth into the world to direct the future. And what I believe God has planned is the realization of the teachings of Jesus what it truly means to live without fear, to live with true faith and love, right? And love for, not love for God, deep, incredible love for God, and and love for one another. Because when the children of God, when the followers of Christ become the body of Christ, we will willingly do the work of God without hesitation,
Excellent.
without resistance.
Excellent, Jack. Excellent. So here's the problem that we see in this world, right? It's is love walking up to somebody and telling them, um, you're a man, you're not a woman, or vice versa. You're a woman, you're not a man. Like, don't try to pretend like you're not. Is that love? Is that criticism? Is that, what is that? Because some people say it's just straight hate. So that's the opposite of love. But what is it?
There's many things in life I leave to God and I leave as mysteries. Regardless of an individual, how they identify themselves, I try to be respectful of the human being. Whatever level of life that God has them at, that is the life God has given to them.
Okay.
I'd ask
Okay.
questions. I have.
I see where you're going, Jack. I see where you're going. So my feeling on that is that people, generally speaking, have their own ways that they want to live. And if you're told these are the ways you want to live, but you have to repent. So then telling someone that they're not living correctly in that case, right? I mean, hey, we could point fingers in life everywhere and go, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that, whatever, right? But don't you think that telling some little kid that they're twig and two berries are exactly where they're supposed to be. And don't let anyone tell you to chop those off because God made you that way. You know what I mean? And that's not even talking about, I don't even think they have a choice at that point because they're so young, they don't understand. And it's not fair that the society's pushing these things onto these little kids who are innocent. Um, I'm just not seeing where we can't speak up about these things and say, hey, I mean, I want to respect everyone, but at the same time, like, to just sit back and kind of say, well, God made you this way, Jack, I don't think that's like a fair argument. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We can find a beauty or the defects, and both can coexist, right? Both things can be true. We can care about what's happening and we can do our best. Best of intentions are always, in my opinion, best of intentions are always the right thing to do. Even though
but,
sometimes we stumble and we don't always know what the right thing to do is, which is these questions, I feel, right?
but here's the thing is like, we've been taught that there is such thing as a man and a woman, right? And so
So
how do we so okay, so how do we've accepted those definitions, and for somebody to try to change those definitions seems to point to a level of deception that we really, I guess, has not been seen in the entirety of humanity in this manner, because they're trying to change multiple definitions. I can list a couple. Vaccines going to be one. Depression, as far as the U.S. economy, now it's changed to 2 quarters instead of one in terms of the down GDP or whatever. If they're trying to change multiple definitions of things, we have a different level of deception that is going on currently. And I will point back to a Genesis I think it's like around 214, which would say it could be 314, which would say that uh, the human creation is allowed to define things. So if you have them defined, then how can the definition be changed? It doesn't make any sense. If you're understanding what I'm saying, but we'll stick with the man and the woman, and we'll stick with that because it's the easiest one to kind of laugh at this point. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Well, I've got a couple of points I want to respond with. First is with this comment. This stuff is just another thing to get everyone outraged and fighting. It's another excuse for people to divide. The other part of this and my adventure, Dub, what you're describing is exactly what I want to do. I want to redefine some words. I want to redefine what it means to be government, what it means to be a leader, what it means to be a man. I want these things redefined. I think the world deserves it. And that's what the truth is. God has given us the power to name and define everything. But this right here from Dr. D Head, too. The right to be left alone is the most supreme right of individual sovereignty. And that's truly what God is about. That's what Jesus was about. We can unite together despite our differences.
Okay. So, Jack, as somebody, I don't know that you've read the whole Bible, whatever. I'm sure you probably have. Okay,
Yeah.
but so in like a John 5 18, for example, it gives the definition of son of God. That is the reason why he went to the cross. So then therein lies the problem. If you want to try to change definitions of things, people are going to create their own definitions of what Son of God is, and now it changes the entire gospel message. You can't change definitions of things. You can only say this in terms of you want to change government and how that's going. You can say the government, for example, the United States, the government has just simply drifted from what they actually started with, which is the Constitution. And they've drifted significantly from that. And now we have immigration
Dub.
problems, these things. It just needs to go back to where it was.
Okay, Dub.
The thing's foundation is built on,
Dub.
right?
Well, Dub, see, and again, you don't know what I've learned. So I'd encourage you, please don't be so quick to dismiss it, because what I was talking about is the return of Jesus, where we're not divided by nations, we're not divided by religions, we're not divided by economics. We overcome that bullshit. That's what I'm talking about, Dub. I'm sure that's what God has planned. What I'm talking about, Dub, is followers of Christ become men like Christ. If we do, we will not put up with this bullshit of masked officers kidnapping mothers and fathers away from their children in communities within America.
So you're speaking of like illegals being taken away from the father, let's say, being taken and brought back to his former land, and the
Yeah,
mother and the child being left behind. Is that okay? Well, I mean, I've heard this
that's one
argument
example.
before, and I've heard this argument before, and the explanation is quite clear. So, if a father is driving around, they're drunk, they get a DUI, they're put in jail, whatever, or maybe something worse happens, they're still being taken away from their wife and their child. So,
Right?
you know, I mean, this is kind of a
You're
weak
not
argument.
proving anything. No, you're not proving anything. See, what I'm hearing from you, you're a statist, aren't you? You believe in the religion of the state, the nation?
No, I'm a Christian, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well, the reality is, as a Christian, then God is our power, authority, right? We don't depend on authority, but we become that. We
But
be,
you
what
still
I'm
have to. We still have to take into account that, biblically speaking, okay, you have to live by the laws of the land. That's what it
yes,
says.
yes.
So
So please,
now,
please,
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt. You're
go ahead.
absolutely right. Let's think this thought through. We must live by the land of the law of the land. What is the law of the land in America? The true foundation and principles are freedom and equality. That is what is real. And any government that does not serve forth freedom and equality and the opportunity for prosperity, it is our responsibility as men and women of this land to take control of that government. We've been given the rights, right? By the rules. Let's exercise our
So,
rights.
but but okay, so you're coming up with a definition of what you believe America is founded upon, and that's
Okay.
fine. But it's just it's not the case when you have people coming in here illegally. They don't actually have any of the rights that are described in the Constitution because they're not legal Americans. So that's the problem that you run into. You know, and it's simple. Like, I
What's
understand
the
people don't want to agree. I understand people don't want to agree with me on that because it's not very
mhm.
fancy to open your mouth and say, but
what's
that is a fact.
what's the Bible say about it? What's the biblical answer? The Christian, the true follower of Christ. What's that answer? I saw this
In,
recently. I think it's Isaiah
in,
something where it says a foreigner should be treated as a natural in your land, welcomed as a brother
okay,
and a
good.
friend.
Yeah, okay. I can go there with you if you want to go there. Fine. I would go to point you to like a 1 Kings 8:41 to 43, and that would be basically Solomon's prayer saying, if someone comes into the land and they turn towards you and your temple and they pray, then have their prayers be answered, have them basically be accepted, so on and so forth. So, but that's talking about assimilation. So if somebody wants to come into your borders as a country, as a comparison here, right? They would need to want to assimilate. And if they did not assimilate or did not want to assimilate, they should not be allowed in your country. And that's my
Whose,
evidence for that,
whose
Jack.
definitions, whose definitions of assimilate and what are the standards of assimilation? Because I suggest some of the stories I've seen where men have been living fine, committing, contributing to the community, being reliable business owners, employees for 25 years. That's not assimilating, right? Who determines legal? This. This is what we've got to get beyond. No human is illegal. We
No,
are
but okay.
children of
So then
God.
but with the what I tried to lay down as a foundation right there, Jack. Do you agree with that or not?
The foundation you laid again was they must assimilate. So,
Yes.
what does that
Yes.
mean to you?
Assimilation is the acceptance of the culture of the land that you live in. I think we
And,
can
and many of these
generally.
have.
Yeah.
The,
Well,
the,
I mean, see, but you can't. We can't. Okay, so it's almost like looking at the wheat versus the tares. So
no,
there are going to be some that actually will fit in and they will assimilate, and there are going to be some that seem like they are assimilating, but they're not.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
let's look beyond where is the problem? The problem is men and women are fleeing their homelands. Why are they fleeing their homelands? Many of them are fleeing their homelands because of economic depression, greatly imposed by American sanctions, right? Because sanctions are actually an attack on the working class, and people don't really talk about that aspect of it. Donald Trump's pretty fucking proud of his sanctions, isn't he? And his immigration enforcement. This is sickness, guys. God has given us everything we
But
need
so
to
what
change
you're
this
saying,
world.
Jack, you're saying that my bringing up of 1 Kings 8:41-43 has no bearing because you asked
That's
me
not
for a
what I said.
biblical. Okay, so
Not what I
what
said.
is your thoughts on that? I haven't heard your thoughts. Does that sound like it's a
How
biblical
about
stance? That
how
makes
about
sense.
you please recognize what I said about assimilation? Okay, we recognize many in this that are being deported. They have been assimilated to the community. They've learned the language. They're doing the things, right? But because some authority, some employee puts them on a list, all of a sudden other employees go out, bash in the windows of their car, kidnap them in front of their children. This shit is nuts. It's not saving
Okay, so
lives. It's not accomplishing anything.
let's try to start from the bare minimum here. Okay, if somebody enters the country illegally, is that illegal? So you have to go through the proper channels. We all know that. So they're already illegal. So to try to give them any sympathy at that point, they've already broken the law, Jack. So they're not
That's
assimilating
unchristian.
at all.
You
They're
sound
not
totally
assimilating at all.
actually, you sound like a Christian, not a follower of Jesus.
Well, I'm a Christian. Call me that. That's fine. I can
I
point you to
encourage you to
various
become more like Jesus, not like the religion. The religion has a lot of
Jack,
flaws in it.
Jack, I can point you to the Bible where it actually says the name Christian is something you should abide by. So
I
I'll
don't
go with
care.
that.
Do as you
I
wish,
know,
but I
Jack. I
encourage
know.
you to consider what your path of thinking, okay? Because you're coming across as a statist, a total statist. And this is not the teachings of Christ.
Yeah, it actually is, Jack.
Nope.
Yeah, very much so, Jack. Yeah.
Nope. You're wrong.
Okay, so Jack, are you saying that uh Christ would accept into his kingdom uh somebody who does not believe in him whatsoever and is a complete sinner, the worst one?
The moment he confesses and repents, absolutely.
I'm saying that he does not confess and he does not repent. So then is he allowed inside Christ's, let's say, border per se?
None that know God know heaven. God's
Okay,
love is
so then
path
what
to
I'm saying is
Dub,
correct
Dub.
then.
Tell you what. You can continue to be correct. I'm not sure why you're trying to prove me wrong. We've really gotten off the topic and off my goals. So I actually do appreciate your conversations. You're a very
I do. I
reasonable man.
appreciate yours too, my friend. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be argumentative with you. I know how it comes off on these conversations sometimes. I really do. But that's why I respect your channel. At least you are willing to have a conversation, and that's cool. It really
You
is.
too. You too. Thank you
Yep.
for what you're bringing. So what I want to do though is I do want to challenge some of the limitations on your beliefs, okay?
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Regarding interpretations. There's a reason the Bible has been given to us in its many interpretations, and let's remember that too. Every book we're reading is an interpretation of a different language, right? So it's open to human error. Every word has been brought to us divinely, right? It's been recorded and passed down. I won't put that down, but it's through the human mind as when we read it. And if we open our hearts to it, to what the meanings are, to me, the messages became clear long ago. When I finally turned to the Bible, it just, yeah, it made perfect sense to me. God wants us to end slavery. God wants us to end oppression. The way we end slavery and oppression is when we stop allowing temptations and evil thoughts to move us. We're here to work together to overcome the evil in the world, because what's happening right now in the world, it's sad. It's disgusting.
Okay, very fair, Jack. Very fair. I would say that God does want us to overcome slavery, but I would think of it more in a spiritual sense. So that meaning sin is the slavery, right? And I know you know what I'm saying. So that
Yes.
would be the case. And then, so if the Bible says, you should never look to a man who chops off their male parts is just awful. Okay, now there is the example of the eunuch in the New Testament to prove that people can still be saved after that point, right? But I don't think the eunuch did that on his own volition. He probably had somebody else just dictate that to them as their ruler. So there's a little bit of a hesitation that I have to make the comparison, but it is a slavery to sin. So what I'm trying to propose is for you to point out to somebody that they're not doing something correctly or they're being taught by false teachers. I think that's a very healthy thing because
I agree.
you're trying to get them to not fall into the pit. You see what I'm saying? Like, so you
Yes.
have to point these things out and it makes you look like you're the bad guy. But that's not the case, because everyone hates Christians. We don't allow for these things or those things to happen. And but the reality is it you're trying to show a form of love by correcting people, and sometimes it's not presented the correct way, maybe. But I mean, come on, man. I don't know.
How
I
about
don't
this?
know.
I love these observations, and I agree. If you consider it, righteousness, God stands proudly on its own. It needs nothing, right? But corruption must be enabled. Evil must be enabled. It cannot stand on its own. It's quickly discovered, right? But it only gets to exist here on earth because people have chosen to lie and to do things for selfish reasons. Um, Doggone it. Dub, I took us away from what you were talking about, though. And there was something else I wanted to say on that.
You're okay. Give it a couple thoughts. I'll bring up some of the points. So, yeah, if you're pointing out somebody else doing something that is obviously wrong,
Yes.
right?
Thank you.
Because they're bringing it into the public square. Go ahead.
Thank you. Following Jesus, the way of Jesus, he shined as a leader. We're here to lead each other, right? Lead each other with love and compassion. And to really lead someone, sometimes you got to meet them where they're at with the compassion and pain and guilt and shame and hurt and whatever they're dealing with. But God has given us this power of presence, being present with one another and helping correct. Say, hey, do you realize this is what you're doing? Do you realize you could be doing something different? This is honestly, in my years of drinking, I wanted to stop, but I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know how. I knew of AA, but for whatever reason, I didn't go, you know? But I often wondered, what if someone would have pulled me aside and said, hey, let me lead you somewhere? My suffering would have ended long ago, but it didn't. And by God's grace, I wouldn't change a thing about my life. I am so grateful for everything.
Jack, so you would agree though, if somebody came forward and was trying to represent God, like they say, hey, God is speaking to me. This is the way that he's telling me to live, and he's telling me to share this with everybody else. The only way to actually make an accounting of these things would be to go back to the Bible and see what they're saying and see if it matches up to the scripture, like a Berean, right? It's the only way to do that is to actually go back and read. Yeah, does that make sense?
I believe it does. And actually, I think what you're describing is what I've been hoping for. See, my path didn't bring me to a lot of time studying the Bible, but I know people have it memorized. They know verse and many of the passages just by memory. And I have early in my path, Dub, the way I think is happening is God graced me with a taste of the Holy Spirit, and I've been trying to figure out how to explain it and what was going on ever since. But I met with pastors because I was feeling these feelings and thoughts of God. And when I spoke with the pastors, they said, oh, yeah, yeah, what you're saying, go read the book of John. That was the first one. And then it was, go read this. And when I'd read it, it was exactly what I was saying. It was coming through me, right? And the Bible was confirming what I was realizing. And the more I started thinking about what Jesus meant and what he did, what he left for us, that is a gift from God. Wisdom. Part of my thing today, I said, the message, live boldly, for fear is just a shadow, while courage lights the way. A greater adventure, a greater world. How about that? A greater world is waiting for the bold to become wise and for the wise to become bold. Donald Trump is one of the bold, right? He's risen to power and influence, but he is not wise, and he is not surrounding himself with wisdom, not godly
Well,
perspectives.
Jack, so here's the thing. I mean, with the last president we had, I would pray for him because the Bible does say to do that. So now I don't care whether you like Biden or you don't like Biden or you like Trump or you don't like Trump. I think that it is your calling to pray on behalf of these people that they do make the correct decisions. So I wouldn't come out and say like I really think so and so is uh the antichrist or something like that. You know what I mean? You don't
I
want to see that person. I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. Uh, I just think that we need to just continue to try to move forward in a manner that we're just hoping that we are taking out of the equation prior to these things happening, because no one wants to see that. It's going to be a time of almost prolonged heart attack, let's say. People are so scared because of what's going on in everyday life, in every facet. You can't imagine. Your family hates you. You can't make money. You can't pay your bills. You are stuck in some kind of utter disparity. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you're describing me. Since
Mm.
2018, I've been isolated. I've been rejected by my family. My career ended. My life savings is gone. I got evicted from my home. Yeah, dude, you're describing me. And what I
Right.
think God
So
is doing with
listen, man,
me.
I'm somewhat similar on the same page, Jack. Somewhat, yeah. Okay. Now I understand that uh tough times will come. All right. Now, is that going to make you run away? And then what times are we actually in? Do you understand that? Does anyone understand that? So, but the command is almost hold on for your dear life, and that's that. You know. because you don't
Sometimes,
know the day and no one else knows the day. And if you're trying to watch YouTube channels for somebody else who's predicting the day, you found the wrong YouTube channel. Guess what? Because no one knows the day.
no,
It's
right.
kind of the beauty of it, though. There's beauty in that.
It is. God has given us this amazing mystery, this adventure of life through time. We don't understand time. We don't understand life. We understand a lot collectively, but individually, every one of us has our glaring blind spots. And Dub, when you said you resonate too, praise God. Indeed, I found my faith in God through my struggles for sure. Because when I looked around and I realized everything was gone and yet nothing had changed.
Well,
God,
but think about some of this. Okay, so if we knew when the day actually was, how fair would that be? So then everyone knows tomorrow's, let's say a month from now is the day, and you can treat everyone like an a-hole if you really wanted to, just go ahead. But then on that one day, everyone needs to treat each other fairly, and then you're going to earn your spot. No, it's a long-standing thing, and it's how you actually come across to people, treat God more than anything. Obviously, that's the first commandment, as Jesus said, right? Love God with all your heart and all that stuff. So if it said that, oh, we know the day. Well, just on that particular day, you love God with all your heart, and then how do you prove that? You know what I mean? Like, you prove it with your resume.
amen. What you're saying is where I found myself. Truly, I found myself alone in this life, and I know I'm not alone. God is testing many of us. I heard from a different. I've mentioned him before, Shunya Murti from the Sat Yoga Institute. He was suggesting that this time that we are participating in, it's a time of karmic release and karmic passing where we're going to face surprises along our ways and things are going to change. That's where our character is found. Our character is realized, our strength is realized, our faith is found, right? In these moments. The true answer I found is love God and know God as the truth. So that means love the truth of who you are, love the truth of what you are living, and then bring better. Right?
And that makes sense, though, too, right? That does make sense. But then I think to add to it is to say that people should read the Bible, and
Yes.
and they should understand more than they know, because there can be an adding to whatever you think you know, to move you towards a more positive direction and influence in this world. You know what I'm saying? So I that's what I believe. I don't know.
I think I get what you're saying. And truly, there is so much profound wisdom in the Bible. You take some of those thoughts and you just think through them logically to the conclusions. And truly, you find forgiveness and mercy and compassion. You're generous. Guess what? Your emotions, you're filled with good feelings when you're good. We've got an inner guidance system within us, right? That's the spirit of who we are is found in our emotions. And our emotions reveal the living truth of who we are. And our God is the living truth. The Bible is a story, right? It's a story of time and a certain group of people, their communications with the supernatural, the mystical. It's part of history, and we're on that timeline. I'm convinced we are on the Jesus timeline, and I believe the the story says the good guys win. Those of us who have been struggled, right? Where God chose us to face some challenges and we come out with stronger character, more creative, more talented, more refined. That's what happened with me. I'm a much better man than I used to be, guys. And I didn't think I was that bad, but golly geez, I was a sinful man. I was a disgrace and a shame to myself. And I fit right into America.
Well, I think that anyone who's ever read the entire Bible knows that it's not all you know, how can I say it? Uh it's just not all rainbows and sunshine. So when you read through the Old Testament, some of that stuff shows you just the complete range of emotions that God has. Okay, like, and if that doesn't get some fear into you, um, I don't know. Like, it's scary to read it. I'll just put it that way. Some of the stuff is so scary because that's the way it's meant to be. You need to understand God's your father. Yeah, your father doesn't want you to mess up. And your father also, for those who do mess up, is going to not treat those people very well. So you want to be on the right side of your father. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You're disagreeing. Go ahead.
Well, Jesus offered, that our God seeks mercy um, more than sacrifice, compassion and love. Mistakes, sins, they're mistakes to be learned from. Our God is what Jesus was about forgiveness. And this is what I don't understand. How can America call itself a Christian nation while showing trillions of dollars of debt? Where's the forgiveness? Where's the mercy? Where's the compassion? This is why I want to talk to Donald Trump too. And I'm sorry, I'm taking us way off this where we were, Dub, but why I want to speak with Donald Trump is he does not see what God has given him. He has the perfect opportunity to bring transformation to the entire world, to have America be the example that we are all created to become. America has the opportunity with the right steps. We could lead the entire world into reform and peace.
So I believe he's trying to do that. Okay, I really do. Okay, so you're shaking your head no, but if at the same time I can say that well, and you might not believe that he was there was an attempted assassination on his life. You might believe that that was just made up or something like that, right? And then we had another more recent claim that that was the case near some airport or something like that. But here's part of the thing is for him to open up and say, "Well, Nigeria, I'm looking at you now." Uh, I look at it and I go, "Yeah, like that's some really really good uh paying attention in my mind." So, and so you say that's not. But it should have happened sooner would be your only objection. Okay, that's fine. But um, the reality is it's happening. So I mean, come on, man. If you want to talk about forgiveness, oh, it didn't happen the way that I wanted it to, but then now it actually is happening, even though it might be considered late in your mind. It's happening now. So the person he's not going to be able to save the whole world. We already know that. Okay, you know what I'm saying. But if you're praying for this person, if you're because he is your quote unquote leader of your nation, you better be praying for him, because if you're not doing it, you're not listening to what the Bible actually says. So
Thank you. You're absolutely right. And I don't wish any ill on anyone. I really don't. I believe there's enough there's been enough human suffering, and my goal is to try and bring Donald Trump some support. Not just him, but all of the men and women of Congress. We can have a come to Jesus moment about this nonsense divisions between parties, playing power games with the budgets, causing unrest and division in the nation. It needs to end, and immediately.
But okay, Jack, but if me and you can sit here and we're trying to have a conversation, and I say illegals who are just here illegally, they don't have the rights that you're claiming they have. So we have a fundamental disagreement now. That's troublesome. How do we solve that?
We recognize which disagreements are relevant or important considered to the higher goal, right? And the higher goal is helping Donald Trump follow through with what he said he would do. Here's something I want to point out. To me, it's pretty obvious and clear. For all the Christians,
I don't think. Hold up, Jack. Yeah, I want to hear your point, right? I really do, but I don't think it has anything to do with Donald Trump. I just think it has to do with following through with the constitution on which this country was built. So
okay,
illegals can't be here if by definition they have moved here illegally. They cannot reside here. They can't, because they've already broken the law immediately.
I
You see
know.
what I'm saying? Is that
I
fair? I mean, I think it's fair.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that fair, Jack? Is that fair? Come on, man. Is it fair to say that someone who was here illegally has already broken the law?
Sure. Now, can we
Okay.
move past that? Can we move past the
But
immigrant, the
we, but
immigration
we,
distraction?
but okay, but can we truly?
Well,
Because
that's what I'm trying to do.
if you are
I'm
on the
trying to
side
move
where you
past
can,
that.
yeah, okay, but okay, so then if you're on the side that now you can concede that and say, yeah, that sounds fair, then
Sure.
we need to have measures to enforce the fairness.
Okay.
So they have to leave.
That's your
Is that
solution. I understand that's your solution.
okay? What's your solution though?
We help Donald Trump and the men and women of Congress do a better job with the legislating and with the budgets that they're passing. See, what I wanted to point out about Mr. Donald Trump and all the Christians who chose to support him, I don't have the clips of immediately available, but he is clearly an unrepentant sinner. He is an unrepentant sinner who is all about the worship of money. He has said, money is king. To me, Jesus is king. To me, Jesus means truth and love, wisdom, compassion, leadership. Donald Trump is not a leader. He is a boss. I mean, he's a reality TV star. He fits right in fucking Congress.
But so the problem is I've heard him on uh whatever interviews basically say he is a Christian. So that's what I've
No,
heard.
I've heard him say he
Yeah.
doesn't pray. I've heard him say he doesn't confess to God. I've heard him say he's not a Christian, in fact.
I don't know about that. We'd have to look these things up, and
Well, you
I
know
think
what?
that maybe you might
There.
be able to bring something up, but I would be able to bring something up to back up my points. So it's okay.
Wonderful.
Either way.
Wonderful. So if we have a man who's making both claims, right? And we can of course review the context and consider what he's saying, but if he's a man who's just speaking to try and please people, he's not to be trusted. He's a fucking liar. I mean,
Yeah.
Donald,
Okay. So you're speaking of like double-mindedness, something like
yes,
that. Yeah.
thank
Okay.
you.
So,
Thank you, Doug.
but here's my thing. I cannot sit here and think of uh multiple things where I've been like, wow, that guy's evil, you know. More so I have to rely on things that I've heard that I would say he probably is a Christian. So it's sorry, Jack.
Well, okay,
We're going
fair
to
enough.
disagree.
Fair enough. He may fit the definition of some Christian standards under the religion, but he is not a follower of Jesus. He is not a leader with God. And this, in the deal with immigration, there is a difference between legal and lawful. And what Jesus showed, what Jesus taught, was natural law. We're not
Okay.
here to oppress one another. Sorry.
Hold on, because I just saw that comment fly up there, right?
Mhm.
You do understand that certain people take Jesus's word when he says, "I come, but not for the only for the house of the law, the lost children of the house of Israel." And some people take those words and they do like Hebrew Hebrew Israelites do, like IUIC, something like that. Okay, you understand. Okay, and those people are really taking it so far as to say there are very strict uh, uh, boundaries that are being laid down there. I don't agree with that because I see it as it's a spiritual boundary. Okay, that is being. He comes from the lost children house of Israel. It's a spiritual boundary, so it goes beyond what you can actually explain. And then we have like a John 1:1, a John 1:14, 1:15 that can back that up, right? But the problem is he there it's not addressed as far as like immigrants should be able to move into your land. Show me then if that's the case and you want to give a biblical backing for allowing immigrants to just flow into your land regardless of beliefs, then show me, please. I'm willing to entertain that.
Here's something I want you to consider, my friend. Illegals, genitals, these things are not the important things. Seriously. Donald
Sure
Trump,
they are. Every aspect of life should be seriously considered. It
okay,
really should. Yeah.
okay, Dub, but there's a time and a place for everything. And what I'm suggesting, I mean, the topic today, are you dreaming of problems, missing out on the blessings, missing out on the potentials, or are we living with God? If we live with God, then anything is possible. All things can be. And if all things can be, I am a man who found myself on this path, devoted my time and energy, and I've had a lot of time. I've got a lot of energy. But I've been trying to understand, and God has blessed me, guys. I do truly feel blessed. I don't have miracles because I don't have witnesses in my life, at least not honest witnesses, not from the past. But God is doing something miraculous with us. And Dub, I want you to consider these remote possibilities. What if it is true? What if God is doing something with me and brought us here? Because if I can get an hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes of Donald Trump's true time and attention, he'll want to know more.
See, but but that's the problem is like how do I even put this, you know, to
What I'm
people still
suggesting,
have people still have um what is known as free will, right? So um the complication in understanding something like that is to say, for someone to say, "Oh, God, everything's done by God's will," but then when you would try to examine that opposed to your free will, how does all of these things fit together? Now it's
I've
just
got
an
an answer.
interesting thing to go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Our God is so glorious and mysterious, it allows for all things to be true. Anything we want to believe can become real.
So
What we believe does become
my
real.
question would be if a man says they can be a woman and let me reframe this, okay? I'll
Why are
reframe it.
you
Let me
so
frame it up.
fixed on this?
Because I want to frame it in a manner that you can actually make a decision on it finally and be done with it. So if we think back, we know that prearranged marriages happened. That's fact, and then they still do happen to this day. So are you telling me that someone is going to prearrange their son to marry a trans guy or something like that? You just eliminated your entire family line if you were to do that. Like, that doesn't exist. It's not true. So it could be somebody's quote unquote truth, but that doesn't mean it is the truth. So what's the truth on the matter? If if some do you believe somebody is going to prearrange their son to get married to a guy that dresses up as a woman or gets changed to make parts look like a woman? Do you believe that? I mean, honestly, would you date a trans man or whatever it's called?
No, I've had the
Okay,
opportunity and said no.
okay, good for you. But so you just believe that that's just another man, right?
Does
That's
it
all it
matter?
is.
But does it
It
matter
does.
to why it
It
matters
really,
to you? Clearly, Dub, let's get into this.
no,
It
it
clearly
matters to the
matters to
world.
you.
It
Why does it
matters to
matter?
the world.
It doesn't matter to me, Dub. So why does it matter so much to you? You're projecting you onto the world
Wait, okay. So you just said it doesn't matter to you. Why did you reject the trans that was hitting on you or something? Apparently, you've encountered this before. Why did it matter to you?
because I know my preference. I'm comfortable with
Oh,
who I am.
but
I don't
but wait
I
a
don't
second.
judge
That's a
others.
woman though. That's a woman though. So
So
it's not a
what?
man anymore. It's a woman.
So what?
But why did
So
so why
Dub,
did you reject?
Dub,
Why
why
did you
are you
reject?
confused? Why are you confused? I answered your question. I know my preference. I know I know who I am. That's not what I'm interested in. Now the
Mm,
individual was open and forthright. They were honest about who they were. They weren't ugly, but it really wasn't my type either. So it's not my place to judge. That's God's place. And many times in the
no.
Bible,
Oh, okay. So hold on. Let's try to reset a little bit here because it's getting a little bit yeah, okay. So it's not your place to judge. Now,
right?
does the Bible say that you cannot judge?
It says, judge not, lest ye be judged, right? Condemn not,
Okay.
lest you find yourself condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. I mean, I don't remember the
Okay.
exact words, but that's what I took from it.
Yeah, no, that's correct, Jack. You listed several verses that are fine. And
Right.
now we're going to look at spots where it says that you can judge though, right? Are there any of those?
Mhm.
Okay.
In the face
So,
of unrighteousness, we are certainly to condemn the unrighteousness. And that's why I speak against the job that Donald Trump is doing. Not just Donald Trump, though. He's a single man and he's dealing with the shitstorm of Congress and the House. So I'm grouping them all together. There's less than 600 Americans in Washington, D.C. that are in charge of trillions of dollars, economic and interstate, relationships. And Donald Trump is starting wars, threatening invasion of Mexico. He's already murdering people in boats off of Venezuela. They're as I heard, there may be
wait,
deploying troops to Puerto
are they
Rico.
are they trying to deliver drugs?
That's the claim. So far, I haven't heard of evidence.
Okay, so if we look at just try to look at circumstantial evidence. If anyone's ever been on a boat before, number one, You don't need 4 multi-propeller engines on the back of your boat to be a fisherman, because they don't move that fast. They don't need to move that fast. They
So
wouldn't catch a
what?
single fish. Number
So
2,
what?
we'll go with B. B would be, no one is riding around in a boat to try to catch fish where you can't actually move around in the boat and maneuver to catch a fish. So that the boats that I've seen, the pictures I've seen, have been like, it looks like they got just multiple drums of something in there. That's not a
Holy shit.
fisherman's boat, my friend.
Hey,
It's
Dub.
not.
Dub. So because of the boat and the location, they deserve to be murdered without a trial, without evidence. And you call yourself a Christian.
Yeah, I will call myself a Christian. No problem. Hey, listen, if
Wow.
someone's breaking in,
Hey,
if someone's breaking into your house, Jack, if someone's breaking into your house, Jack,
Here,
do you
Dub, please
have a
pause.
right to take them out?
Please pause. Bad Apple, you were trying to jump in?
No, I've been listening for good knows how long now, and
A while.
just trying to gather my thoughts here over this conversation. but
It's been
nonetheless,
interesting.
well, yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. There's a lot of things I'd like to talk about and bring up through this conversation, but it's kind of a little water under the bridge right now. But the current situation that most people are not looking at here is who is bringing the drugs into this country. Is it some dudes on a boat in Venezuela, or is it your CIA and your government? Do you guys not know what the Afghanistan war was about for protecting the poppy fields? Do you not have any friends in the military to tell you what was going on? Do you not realize that the mass amounts of soldiers, veterans that are taking themselves out could be, some nefarious shit behind it one way or the other because they know too much? People need to wake up to what the reality is of this system, the beast system that you all are voting for. You're voting for your own enslavement, which is pretty fucking pathetic that you can't see, you can't smell the shit on your own knees. But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy that busts my ass to make a fucking living.
That's complete bullshit, though. That's
Yeah,
complete
of course
bullshit
it's
because you
bullshit.
can't prove
Please.
any of this. You can't.
Wait,
The
wait,
thing
wait,
is, you
wait,
cannot
wait.
prove.
Can't prove what?
Dub, please pause.
Can't
Because
prove what?
Bad Apple Media, thank you. Okay, thank you for speaking the words that I know when I failed to bring up. The atrocities of war, the corruption of the CIA, the drug running, the involvement of agents of government involved in bringing drugs in, creating wars. Why? For the weapons manufacturers. Why? Because the profits help the GDP. Donald Trump worships the wrong things, and he's making choices that we could help him avoid. We could help the wars end, truly.
Well,
And
that brings me to my next point, Jack. Hold on one second, Dub. You've been talking for an hour and a half. Let me speak for a minute, and I'll shut up.
please, you have been patient. Let me step back too. Thank you.
No, it's all right. It's your show. You can talk all you want. But the fact of the matter is that
Number
calling it
one, you
bullshit.
have been. No one can prove that you've been patient at all. You've been.
Oh, trust me. If you knew who I was, you'd be saying I was patient. Calm down and quit interrupting.
Please.
I'm just telling you right now.
Jack,
Please
do your thing, Jack.
argue. Please.
Well, it's not an argument. I'm just stating facts.
I realize, and I was referring to Dub. Please.
No, I know you were, bro. But so my point is,
go ahead.
My point is that
please, when you're bringing up
your
points, when
So I want to recognize, please, okay, Dub, you're hearing things that you object to. I recognize that, okay, but please, Bad Apple Media has been here for a while, and he hasn't been interrupting or participating.
Well,
and I appreciate
Dub's been waiting for this moment to interrupt me since I got over here.
Let's not assume and let's not provoke.
You don't know where Dub was at before you jumped over here on your channel.
Please. Please.
So my point was
I
about the
want to hear
drugs.
you out.
Saying that you
Yes.
can't prove that the drug running didn't happen, whether it was in Afghanistan, Vietnam. See what I'm saying here, Jack?
Jack.
See what I'm saying
what
here,
I would
Jack?
like. Jack, here's
The
what I
dude's
would
been
like.
talking for an
On a
hour and a half,
respect
and now he
level,
wants to interrupt me.
Let
Jack,
me hear him out,
here's
please.
what I would like on a respect level, okay? I've been here for a while. He hasn't said anything. I can't tell if he's been listening or not. Let's go one by one on his issues so that we can talk about this. It will make for better dialogue and content, okay? Like, let's just try to do that. Okay.
I agree. And Bad Apple, please, let's reset. And I do want to hear what you're saying. Okay.
Am I living in an inverted reality or something here, bro?
Yes, the world is backwards. Here, let's be present here and now.
Well, I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I've been patient for an hour and a half, and now somebody wants to distract me from what I'm saying to be the annoying pain in the ass that most people on the internet are.
Okay. Now,
and I ask for a little respect from you, Jack, to at least silence somebody who is interrupting me.
I'm interrupting you right now.
You can interrupt me. I'm talking about the other individual who wants to interrupt me when I start speaking.
Who has been silent. So now please listen to me. You've been heard. I'd like you to pause and take a breath, okay?
Oh, you trust me, I've taken 10 breaths.
Well, let's do it again because you still seem a little bit anxious and on
No,
edge.
that's because everybody likes to assume that my passion is anger. Do you understand?
Tell you what, please pause. There's another guest, and maybe this. I'm sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
Actually, let me ask. I'd like to bring up the other guest, but I don't want to. You've been patient, and I want to hear your thoughts. And
I just want to say one little thing, and you can do whatever you want. I haven't been able to say it.
Please do.
You can bring your guest up. You can do whatever you want to do. Am I going to be allowed to speak?
Please do.
So the war on drugs is nonsense. The war on drugs is a manufactured crime. There's multiple tentacles to that octopus, and even those tentacles have tentacles. But to say that nobody can prove that the war or that the government's bringing drugs in here, it's bullshit. This fucking planet is. Come on, I don't think not one person would ever say that honestly, and be honest with what they're saying. So, I could point out, you got Freeway Rick Ross. He's the one who was pretty much responsible for launching the crack epidemic because of his distribution of CIA cocaine. And then they turned around and threw him in fucking prison. And you got the Clintons. If you don't know anything about the they've been running drugs. The Bush has been running drugs. They've all been running drugs. You got the congressmen running drugs through their wives, the Chinese shipping companies. What's his name? Grassley's married to that Chinese chick. The drugs are being run in this country seriously.
Yes, it's been happening a long time. Drug wars were created long ago with the East India Company and the opium wars in China. It's commercialized toxicity, it's corruption, it's evil, and we have the opportunity to do something about it, guys. We really do. Hey, we've got a guest in the back. I'm going to bring up, and I think it's safe. Alwine, hey, blessings to you. Let me drop this down. Thank you.
I won't form bomb you, Jack. I've been listening to you for a while, man.
Thank you. And welcome, Truther Cop, to you as well.
Yo, I got a funny story about the drug war, if we can get to it later, but I don't want to interrupt.
Let me step back. Dub had some objections. Bad Apple presented many many examples exist.
Bad Apple. I heard you. I heard what you're saying. However, just because the president decides to take a stance on drugs at this point in time, and he starts blowing up little boats of drugs that are coming over, you're saying that's a bad thing? I mean, come on, man.
Did I say that?
That's not smart.
Did I say that?
It appears such. It appears as
said that.
such.
I said
okay.
that.
I disagree with
say
that.
that.
So
I didn't say that.
Dub had mentioned earlier, because I had mentioned, Jack, I like to go to Landry's and announce that you're going live. Dub was over there on panel when I announced it, I believe, or he was on that around that time. And that's why they came over. Landry and OTW were over there. They came over because I mentioned it.
Yep.
No, I'm
I was
just joking. They were already going to listen.
Congratulations, buddy. Yeah, you're a big rock star. So what's up?
Hey, Dub. So you quit your job because the guy that you were associated with was like bragging about his criminal activities. Was it drug use, perhaps?
No, it was a woman who openly was talking about and laughing about the fact that she's a criminal who stabbed somebody and watched them bleed in the middle of the street or whatever she did. You got a problem with me quitting?
A woman scared you out of a job.
Hey, let's not twist the narrative, okay?
You bet. I don't give a shit. I'll talk about it. That's fine. I'm fine with it. Yeah. You want to stay and work with a psychopath? Are you kidding me?
No, there's
You're
better
dumb.
things. So here, you saw signs.
Jack, don't you say don't live love, not in fear or something like that?
Bro, it doesn't matter. Anyone who has a knife in their hand is capable of taking you down. It's almost like somebody having a gun. Okay, it's an equalizer, you idiot.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
So you quit your job because the woman was bragging about stabbing somebody with a knife, but you support a random boat being exploded with high technology, the most sophisticated world, just blowing them up without any cause or reason.
My friend. I'm not seeing the correlation. I'm sorry. No.
That's interesting. It's interesting that you don't see the connection. Life is life.
Go ahead. Explain it to me then, Jack. Go ahead. You understood it, apparently. Go ahead.
Hey, Bad Apple, I muted you because we got some sort of
noise. Jack. You understood the correlation, so you can explain it to me. Steelman his argument without him talking. Go ahead.
Sorry, Jack. I was just laughing. Sorry.
Life.
Yeah, no one cares if you're laughing or not. I want to hear your Steelman, Jack.
I've said it. Please consider it. Life is life.
Well, life is life, Jack.
You think?
What are you talking about, man?
You live in this here. I'm going to speak frankly, and it might sound insulting, but I don't mean to be offensive. Okay.
Go ahead.
I used to believe in the fantasy world of government and the states. I was a very proud American. I was very proud of being a capitalist. I mean, when I joined, I'm embarrassed to say this, but when I joined,
no, but hold on, Jack, try to get to the point and tell me why I am wrong for leaving a job who has a psychopathic bitch who is a ex-criminal and is laughing about stabbing somebody and seeing their blood all over the ground.
He didn't say that you were wrong for that, but you're supporting a boat being exploded and taking people's lives, and you're bragging about that. There's nothing wrong with it.
So,
they were coming into the country illegally.
Here's the point that I'm trying to get at. Here's the point Jack,
let me try and be clear. Let me be clear, okay? What he said, you're judging, you're filled with judgment, and you're numb, lack of compassion, both at the same time. You're judging a woman for murdering, right? You feel righteous in that judgment. You chose to separate yourself from it.
No, I don't.
No. What was the reason? You were afraid of her?
Jack, I don't have to work around psychopaths who openly joke about the fact that they stabbed somebody.
Right. You're free to choose. What is the justification of your choice to leave the job? You're incapable of coexisting with a human who has a past problem?
They never had to announce that past problem, Jack. They're openly joking about it. That's a problem. That's a psychopath.
Okay. I don't disagree. I don't.
Okay.
Here, there's another offer. Allwine, it sounds like you may have another understanding. Please.
I would love to steelman the argument back to Dub. Now, Dub, you stated that you had a psychopath worker as a coworker. Now, was this a coworker or was this a manager within the position?
That's a coworker who actually said some things in front of a manager.
Okay, so allow me to steelman this. You were afraid of your coworker because she had murked somebody in the street so that allowed you to quit your job as a working man because you were afraid of a little old lady with a knife? Is that what I'm hearing properly? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh,
I feel that's what I'm
oh,
hearing, but I feel like it's just a bunch of
hold on, buddy.
hypocrisy.
Would you like me to actually talk, or are you actually going to keep talking? Because you
Buddy,
think
I've
you
been
sound
listening to
Here,
brilliant, but what you sound
I've
like,
been
what
listening
you
to you
sound like.
babble for
Hold on,
45
buddy.
minutes about your fucking
Jack,
pussy
or
hurting.
Jack, do you allow this on your channel? Are you
Well,
serious?
Dub, I'd like to
If
hear
Jack
your
has a problem, he would
feedback.
address me.
I'd like to hear I'd like to hear your answer, Dub, honestly. So please, Elwin, please. Let him answer.
Yeah, by all means. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear
So,
too.
what's your name? Aloine? Is that what your name is? Aloine?
It's
Listen,
Ashton.
buddy.
You can go. We can go for Ashton.
Ashton.
That works too. That's my actual name. Yeah, go.
Okay, Ashton. All right. Ashton, here's the facts. I don't care who you're around, whether it's a man or a woman. If anyone wants to to try to compliment themselves on prior criminality, where they basically stabbed someone with a knife and laugh about it, you are dealing with a psychopath. Do you personally want to live or work? You're making $15 an hour. You want to work around someone like that? Be
Sir,
honest.
I work for a female. Her daughter is my boss, and she has bipolarity disorder with split personalities.
So
I
what?
work with a psycho every
So what?
single day. But you know
No.
what
So
I
what?
don't do?
So
Do you know
wait,
what I
wait. Does
don't
this
do?
person?
I
You
don't come
want
on
to
the
try to
internet
make
bitching about my man pussy hurting because my coworker had a knife and killed somebody. Well,
Ashton.
get
Let
over it, and
Ashton,
you'll feel a lot better. Live without fear, bud.
Ashton,
Ashton.
please.
Ashton, here's the problem.
The-
Ashton. You want to act as if just because somebody has bipolar disorder, whatever, that means they walk around and they gloat about their criminal past where they stabbed somebody. That is
Did she
not a
have a knife?
correlation, my
Oh
friend.
God.
Not
Did she
even
have a
close.
knife at work? Was there a knife at work? Or are
There's
you
always a knife at work. In the deli, there's always a
okay?
knife at work.
All right. And so that other
So
comment,
what?
someone else did say that in the comment. So and I wasn't sure. Thank you. So there would be
Ashton, I'm
knives
sorry.
there.
I'm sorry, Ashton. You come
Here,
off as a complete
they,
moron.
how
So
about this
Hey,
though?
Dub,
The greater correlation that Truther was trying to make
you
is
had
you've been supporting the murder of people in boats, and that seems bizarre.
but it's not murder. If you are protecting your own house, it is not murder.
How is boats outside of the waters of Venezuela? How is that breaking into the American house? Please,
I just described the fact
you're
that
living in a fantasy,
those
my
boats,
friend.
those boats have like
Are,
4 engines on them. Okay, they
so
have
what?
4 engines. No
Here,
so if they
fishing
had
boat
two
Dub,
engines,
has
it would be
4
okay to blow
engines.
them up.
Dub,
So
here.
if they had two engines, they'd be
Ashton,
allowed to be blown up there, sir. Is that what you're saying? Because 4 engines is too bad. It's like your coworker wielding a knife. It scares you because there's so many things happening. And Dub, I have
Um,
interacted with you before on Lower Classes channel and
Ashton,
on other multiple channels.
If you
So for
ask
you
a
to
question,
insult
you need
my
to hold on,
intelligence,
buddy.
you need to
Don't
shut up and let the men
go,
speak. You're
go
clearly
ahead,
unaware of
Dub.
how this works. When somebody's
Ashton,
speaking,
you're
active listening allows you to hear what they're saying for you to
you're gift
process it so that
Not,
galloping.
you can
You're
learn.
gift galloping.
oh my God.
How am I
Please,
gift galloping?
I think
please.
What is a
we
gift
found a
Piling
new
gallop,
on
troll.
Dub?
evidence. That's all you're
Holy
doing.
cows.
Dub,
Holy
what's a
cows.
gift gallop?
Please.
It's
There's
piling
What's a
on
gift
what
gallop?
you think is evidence. Piling on what you think is evidence until somebody
Sure.
can't answer the questions
What's
because you piled up so many questions that they can't actually answer. That's gish galloping. That's what
okay?
you're trying
So
to do.
allow me not to gish gallop. What is the problem, and where is the solution to us blowing up boats on Venezuelans' waters when they're not even close to the United States coastline? Please answer the fucking question, you stupid idiot.
Please.
Sure. You have 3 or 4 engines on the back of your
What does
boat.
the
And you
engine
have
have anything to do
Hold
with the
on,
boat,
my
Dub?
friend. Can I answer before you try to kiss gallop on me? You
He's
fucking
been
idiot.
muted. Please get to your point, but please, we don't need a repetition. Can we please get back to Jack?
I'll agree,
We were
Jack.
getting
I'll
somewhere,
succeed
Jack. I
and
like it.
allow
I
to
like
go
the
back to
moves
the
there.
So do
It's all
I.
about
You
you,
know,
Jack.
totally fake, but that's fine. I like that, Jack.
Jack, can I just say one thing? This is the first time I've been on your panel, and I will say I have heard many things, and I don't listen to people that I hear because I want to confront the people head on first before I make my own judgment. I feel like what you're doing is a lot of good, and I feel in my heart of hearts, and I truly mean this when I say this, people are just fucking idiots. That's just how the world works. You can be an honest man, you can be a fourth righteous man, and you can be a truthful man. But you know what you can't be in the world today, Jack? You can't be a fucking blumbering idiot who doesn't know what the fuck they're
So
talking about.
if someone
The
is
asshole of it.
my here's what it is. If someone has multiple 55-gallon drums on their supposed fishing boat and they
That's
have 3 or 4
Why did the
engines on the
woman
back of that,
stab the man?
how is that
Why
I
did the
want to
woman
know how
stab the
that
man?
wait,
We don't even know.
I want
We
to
don't
know.
even know. Did you even
Hold
look it
up.
up that she stabbed the
Jack,
man?
why are
Did
you
she even
allowing
stab
this,
him? Did you
Jack?
look up the news report, or did you believe
Hey,
the bullshit? Maybe
Jack,
she was scared
Jack,
like you,
why,
Dub. Maybe you're both
Jack,
scared.
why are you
Maybe you're a
allowing
scared
this,
little
Jack?
boy.
Hey, Jack, why are you allowing this?
Hey, Dub. It's a good question you
well,
might
they
want to
just
ask
found a new.
yourself.
I hate to say the name.
Why am I allowing you?
I
Why
think
am
you're
I
having.
allowing this?
I think you're having jackass zebras withdrawals.
No, I mean, actually, I've enjoyed you guys. Seriously, Dub has brought some good conversations. However, there is a
Conversation.
resistance. There is a
Yeah, instead
resistance.
there's a monster of idiots that just all of a sudden
Dub,
showed up, and you
Dub,
wanted. Yeah,
Dub,
I know
you're
your
not
channel, Jack.
helping.
I know
You're
your
not
channel.
helping.
I know your channel, Jack. I do.
Dub, allow
You're
me to ask you
testing
one
my
question.
patience now.
Jack, may I ask him one question?
Please.
No, you can't because you won't actually.
Hold on. I'll allow you to fully answer it, Dub. When he brings you back, I'll allow you to fully answer it. Where in the Bible does it tell us we are not allowed to hold judgment?
Where is it described? Say that again. You kind of broke a little bit.
Oh, I sincerely apologize. Where in the Bible does
Yeah,
it
I'm sure you do.
state that Christians cannot hold judgment?
Do you mind, Dub?
The question was, where does it say the Christians cannot hold judgment?
Correct. Where in the Bible does it tell? Where does Jesus tell Christians not to judge?
That's a
Please
great
quote me the
question.
verse in the chapter. I would love to hear.
That is a great
Well,
question. Thank you.
yeah, great question. Trust me, that's so great.
I would love.
It's so
You're
great. I
discounting,
love the
Dub.
question. You know,
Dub, you're
this is ridiculous.
discounting. Why don't you answer the question?
Well, what Dub is missing is what you offered was a wonderful example. Thank you. Because I answered the question earlier about where, we're not to judge, not by verse, but he didn't think about it. He's been thinking about his arguments. And so maybe if he's reminded, Dub, you remember where it says it?
Wait a second. He just said, what was the question again, please?
Do you remember where Jesus offers the guidance and instruction? Don't judge.
My
Don't
friend.
carry
Okay,
judgment.
here's the thing, Jack. So what you brought up some very good verses where it says, "Don't judge lest ye be judged," something like that. Yeah, But at the same time, it says that Christians will judge angels. So then now there are judgments that will take place. Do you understand, Jack?
So the answer to my question that we were looking for, Dub,
So wait,
is that
Jack, does that not exist?
I'm not sure that you did answer the question.
Jack, does the Bible say whether Christians will judge angels?
Hey, Dub, how about we get back to that question after you answer the one from
Oh
Ashton?
my gosh. Wow, Jack, now you have
Dub,
just a bunch of jackals around yourself, Jack.
Dub,
That's all you
hello.
have.
Hello, Dub. I want to bring
All
your
right.
attention.
Hi, we have joined the
Dub,
channel
I
now.
don't understand the
Dub.
argument you're making.
I want to bring the attention. I want to, Dub. I'd love to bring your attention to your behavior. Your reactions are not helpful. You're using questions, trying to deflect and control the conversation. It's what the ego does. And I'm suggesting you that's not what Jesus taught. So please, I'd love for you to just cooperate with a question out of your
I
memory.
just Jack, let me get the panel right now. Let me get the whole panel. I said that it says in the Bible that Christians will judge angels. So,
Okay.
does it say that or not?
that
Dub,
was not an
remember
answer
the
to my
question you were asked. Please answer the question you were asked, Dub.
I'll answer the
What
question the
was
only
the
way I know
question?
how. I don't know that Bible verse, and Dub, you've asked that several times. What was the question? You said that like a few times. You've used that to deflect. The only thing I can think of is that God made us a little lower than the angels or something like this. I don't recall. I don't. There's nothing coming to mind about judging angels.
Let me try to address it this way.
an
Okay.
answer to the direct question.
Oh gosh. Let me know when I can talk. Let me know, Jack.
Well, Dub, I want to offer clarity on the question. Dub, please, I want to offer clarity on the question. And Ashton, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the question the answer we're trying.
Come on, what's the question?
The answer we're trying to get from you, from your memory, where does Jesus say, don't carry judgment?
Don't carry judgment. Yeah. Judge.
No, I apologize.
Hold on. Is anyone else trying to answer that? I'll be quiet. Go ahead. You answer.
No, I muted Bad Apple. I don't know what he was trying to do. Please, Dub, I'd love for you to get a chance. Please.
Is anyone else want to answer that? Okay. So it does say, judge not lest ye be judged. But at the same time, it does say, don't you know that you will judge even the angels? So there's a contradiction that you're going to find there if you want to look at it in a certain way. And furthermore, it says basically not to allow anyone into your house that does not say that Jesus is Son of God or anything. Don't eat with such a person. So is there not judgment that's actually taking place amongst what the apostles actually teach? Go ahead.
Well, there's
idiots.
something here from Sophia, 1 Corinthians 6:3. Do you not know that you will judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this
That's
life?
what I just said.
Okay, so there's many
Why
paradoxes.
are you arguing immediately? Like it's clarification. Why be argumentative? Like that's what I just said. That's why you're an idiot. Let's just
trying to be
You're so defensive. Relax.
Yeah, Dub, I appreciate you sincerely, but there's a reason you're here. There's a reason our paths have crossed. There's a reason for everything in this life. It all comes from God. Our minds, we determine the answers. That's probably the interpretation that I think makes sense is God gives us the power of mind. We label, we define, we discern, we judge, but we've got to remember the limits of our mind. And this judgment upon the righteousness of murdering people in boats because they have suspected, because the equipment looks suspicious, murdering people on suspicion. That's murder. That's not righteousness.
Which Dove has already confirmed that he's afraid of murderers.
Right. See, and this is the thing. Each of us, I do feel like I should probably do some final words and start wrapping up. We're over 2 hours already. Final words from you? Anyone? I don't mean to cut it short like that. And
Oh,
I'll
no,
give
dude,
Doug
no,
another.
wonderful show, dude. I love the discussion. How it unfolded, like the first half, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, But I like the way it went.
I do too. Thank you. Thank you for joining, my brother.
Oh, I'm glad I did. I wanted to from the beginning, like earlier, like it was like one of the days. Sometimes I just like I want to talk to Jack. I'm like, I'm panel. Today was one of the days, but when it started off, I was like,
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, Jack.
Thank you.
Or whoever's listening, Matthew 7:1-5. It's the King James version talks about the splinter in your the person's eye that you're judging, but you forget about the log that's in your own eye. So and then it talks about how it comes back to you. What you measure, somebody else will come back to you. So
that is
it's no different than just assuming somebody is homeless or whatnot just because they're dirty or they're not homeless. I don't know. It's a pretty messed up thing to be judging people, especially when it comes to just judging them as drug dealers or drug runners and then murdering them.
I object to what's happening. I think far too many people are jumping to conclusions and people make rash decisions. And I'm dead serious. When I started learning of coaching and the principles of success that are being taught, my idea is let's get some truly heart-centered life coaches in front of, and let's get some support to these men and women in Congress and in the White House, because they clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I want to have a conversation with them. Let's have a come to Jesus moment with Donald Trump and the men and women of Congress, and we'll give them the option. You can either become righteous in your position or you can retire immediately. We'll follow the rules. We'll get someone from the right geography in to replace them, someone that gives a shit and wants to do the right thing. It's time to make changes.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Anything else from you? I'm going to drop you out and I'm going to.
Well, I'd like to say this before I haven't had the chance to tell you. Earlier in your stream here, you were talking about multiple things about love and respect and, accountability and whatnot. I would love to have chimed in, but it was kind of hard to get a word in edgewise. And so, which is, it is what it is. But I started watching some of your videos to see what was going on over here because I didn't know your name a while back, just like I didn't know many names at all.
Right.
Not any. So I found out all about all this. I've been watching you. And I see a lot of people trolling you very, very hard and that disrespecting you, trying to pretend and play like they're your buddies that are here to participate in a positive manner when all they're doing is playing a game of fuckery. And it just says a lot about these people when they come on here and they start talking all their smack and then they're in the backstage saying, I'm never coming back here again. God, thank God. Thank God. Bye-bye. But nonetheless, I know a lot of people say that about me. But anyways, I think you got a good message. I'm not going to disagree with your message. But for another topic or another subject, another conversation for another day, I'm not sure if maybe you do. I'm not sure if you understand the complexity and how deep the beast system is. And, Don Eld, is just he's a low level chump. He ain't running nothing. He can't stop shit. So,
No.
it's all good. I just wanted to tell you that even though I do respect you, Jack, and I appreciate you. And I think that these guys should probably learn a little bit of actual respect and not troll you, like backhanded compliments. If you're going to troll them, fucking troll them, or don't show up.
Hey,
So,
respect
appreciate
you,
you, dude. Appreciate you, man.
Much love. I appreciate you too. What you brought today was very on point, truly. And I would love to continue some conversations with you as well. But I also don't want to be disrespectful, and I want to allow Dub an opportunity for last words. Thank you for what you brought as well. We started getting into our egos, I think.
No, my final thoughts are I see how it goes. Somebody's got to uphold your channel and actually provide content, and that's me. And then you have your little minions come on here afterwards, and then they just try to attack like little sharks. Yep, and you can make all the facial expressions you want, Jack, but that's just true. So,
hey,
Jack,
as I mentioned, my brother, as I
that's the way
mentioned
it
to
is, my friend.
Snafu, as I mentioned to Snafu yesterday, you are free to believe whatever you want, but you must be
I know,
willing to
Jack. That's
accept
the way that your channel goes.
believing when you're wrong. See, you think you're the content dude? I know who the fuck I am. I'm Jack fucking Talcott, Dub. Don't you know me? You don't know me yet, dude? I'll flip like that on a dime. See, that's what love is. Love is spontaneous. Love is magical. Love is just, it will move you. And brothers and sisters, allow love to move you. Allow yourself to be moved with love for love's sake alone, right? It really is. When you break things down to its core, we exist because of the energies of love. Love brings forth, love gives forth. We are the consciousness of existence in this time, right? This timeline of time that started with the creation, and then there was Jesus, and then World War I and II and all these wars, and everyone's been at war, and that's not healthy and that's not normal. And what, as was discussed earlier from the scripture, and I truly appreciate some people bringing some, quotes from the Bible. I could do a better job, I'm sure. I'm growing and I'm learning. Oh, now I took myself off. I did say I was going to wrap up. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, thank you to all of you. The topic today, are you dreaming or living with God? If you live with Jesus, the love of Jesus, the way of Jesus, with faith in God, love for one another, you can live boldly, for fear is just a shadow. Within you is the light of God, right? The spark of God is within you and me. But from that light, the light casts a shadow. And so there's memories, and there's reverberations, there's impressions of our past, there's influences from the past in the shadows, in the darkness. And then there's the future. The future is dark. We don't know the future. It's dark, and we don't know what's beyond what we know. There's a lot of darkness out there. There's a lot of shadows. But live boldly with the light of God, because that is who you truly are. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you again from me to you. I hope it comes through like I mean. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Peace.